Good morning and welcome to Coach's Corner on this first Saturday of October. Seems a little earlier than a normal weekend, but that's just because it was a late night. The trip back from Two Harbors, we made it safely. Not too many deer along the way, so of course the weather wasn't very conducive for them being out. So we'll take that. We'll take maybe the bad weather and not have to worry about the deer. Kind of a trade-off last night. The Bronco football team was in Two Harbors last night. And their defense and their offense were kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum last night. The defense was very, very good as they held the Two Harbors Agates to 105 yards rushing on 52 attempts in the game. Two Harbors only completed 2 passes for 11 yards, so a total of 116 yards for the Two Harbors Agates. The Broncos also had 3 interceptions, recovered 2 fumbles in the game. So the defense was spot on. The offense was pretty good early. They had 10 carries on their 35 yards on their first 10 carries of the game. However, after that, a lot of shotgun snaps that weren't good. The Two Harbors defense started blitzing, lots of negative yardage plays, and the Broncos just could not get anything going offensively. The Agates scored on their opening possession. They went 43 yards on 12 plays. The Bronco defense was pretty stout, but could not stop them. A couple of penalties on that first series. Sam Johnson goes across from a yard out, and Two Harbors led 6-0, and with about 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Two Harbors would get a couple of series later. They would get a 42-yard touchdown run from Sam Johnson to move up 12-0. It would be that way at halftime. It would be that way entering the fourth quarter. The Broncos were backed up deep in their own end zone, or towards their own end zone. There would be a safety, and that would be the final score, or for the final margin of 14-0 as the Broncos lose in Two Harbors. The Broncos are now 1-5 on the season. They host Eveleth Gilbert on Friday in their final regular season home game. The 3-2 LBF Vikings football team had to forfeit their game last night due to lack of healthy players. The Vikings are scheduled to host Hill City Northland next Friday in their final regular season home game. For the Lakers last night, Isaac Barron scored his first goal of the season, and Noah Loveday scored his second of the season in the Fort Francis Lakers 4-2 loss to Thief Rivers Falls last night at Ice for Kids Arena. Thief River scored the only goal in the first period, got one early in the second period to move up 2-0 before Barron scored his goal at the 11-11 mark of the second period. Thief River would get a goal early in the third period to regain their 2-goal lead. Loveday would score his unassisted goal with just over 3 minutes left in the game, but Thief River would come right back about a minute later and score the eventual game-clinching goal to win 4-2. The Lakers are here, and they'll join us in our third segment. We'll talk more about that game and more about the early season. It was a pretty light Friday night sports-wise. Matter of fact, of all the Friday nights so far, this has been the least amount of games going on locally. So let's move right into the local high school football scores from last night. And a very interesting game going in. I thought where this kind of gives us a judgment maybe where Esco is at. Aiken on the road takes down Esco 20-15. Virginia played in Brainerd last night against Minneapolis Henry. They win 26-6. Duluth East 20-16 over Grand Rapids. North Branch, who defeated Cloquet a couple weeks ago, edges Duluth Denfeld 22-16. Bemidji 30, Alexandria 12, Monticello 36, Andover 8. There you go. Well, there's your score update from last night. Deer River, probably in the shocker of the night, shuts out Barnum 8-0. Lake of the Woods 38-24 over Big Fork. 12-6, Kelly or Northholm defeats Carleton. GNK, this game was very, very tight. Eveleth Gilbert scored with 5 minutes left in the game to make it 26-20. GNK scores late and gets the 2-point conversion to win 34-20. Hermantown all over Hibbing 39-8. McGregor loses to Renshaw 52-12. Mesabi East edges Rush City 14-6. Cook County, how good is Cook County in 9-man? Well, they beat Ely 56-6 last night. That tells me that they are probably a pretty good team. Moose Lake Willow River 51-28 over Crosby Ironton. Silver Bay 45, Hill City Northland 6. Southridge defeats Northwoods 38-18, and Cromwell Wright, maybe the best team in northern Minnesota in 9-man football. They beat Isle 60-8. In college women's hockey last night, Minnesota in Duluth takes down the Bulldogs 5-2. Providence over Bemidji State 4-1. Ohio State 4-3 over Colgate. Wisconsin beats Mercyhurst 6-1, and St. Cloud State gets the better of IRT 7-3. UMD men's hockey team, they will open their 18-19 season tonight at home. They'll raise the banner for the national championship from last year as they play the Gophers at 7 o'clock. This is the first night of NCAA men's hockey. In the MLB playoffs yesterday, Houston wins Game 1 over Cleveland 7-2. Boston takes down the New York Yankees 5-4 in their Game 1. Milwaukee shuts out Colorado 4-0 to take a 2-0 lead in that series. And Los Angeles shuts out Atlanta for the second straight game. Atlanta's had 18 innings to score a run and have not been able to push one across the plate as Los Angeles won 3-0. Scheduled for today, Houston versus Cleveland at 3:37, Boston versus the Yankees at 7:15, and both those games are on TBS. What's going on locally today? Well, the Bronco bowling team is down in Hibbing for a 2:30 meet. The Bronco volleyball team probably just getting started at ESCO as they get things underway at the ESCO tournament. They are going to end up playing Superior, Southridge, and Proctor in the pool play, and then they'll have a fourth match against a team to be determined. The girls swimming and diving team, the diving team, divers for the Broncos, already getting underway down in Duluth at the True Team meet. That started at 9 a.m., and the swimming goes off at 1 o'clock. Minnesota Lakers will host the Minnesota Iron Rangers will host the Lakers tonight. See, trying to read too many things in. That game is at 7 o'clock tonight. The Wild have their home opener as they take on the Vegas Knights, also at 7 o'clock tonight. In the MLS, Minnesota United is in Philadelphia at 6:30, as a couple of Minnesota teams will be in Philly this weekend. We'll talk more about that in a minute. The Gophers host Iowa for homecoming today at 2:30. That game on BTN. North Dakota State is at Northern Iowa at 1 o'clock. UMD is at Augustana at 1 o'clock. BSU has their homecoming game against Sioux Falls at 1 o'clock. UND is off this weekend. St. Cloud State hosts Wayne State at 1 o'clock. In the big boys, in the top 25 matchups, number 19 Texas is at number 7 Oklahoma at 11 a.m. For number 5 LSU at number 22 Florida at 2:30, and then tonight number 6 Notre Dame is at number 24 Virginia Tech at 7 o'clock. Gopher volleyball, boy, this is going to be a big one tonight. They are number 5 ranked in the nation. They're at number 3 Nebraska at 7 o'clock. Wish I could have a set of eyes on that game. That one probably is going to be a dandy. And of course, tomorrow afternoon there's a little rematch of the NFC Championship game as the Vikings go back to Philly. Let's hope that the Vikings fare just even a little bit better than they did in January. I don't know if I can handle another drubbing, whatever word you want to throw on top of that. That game is at 3:25 tomorrow. Pregame starts at 2:30 on K104. Former Broncos Sydney Raboy with the UND cross-country team. She was down in Minneapolis last week and ran in the Roy Griak. I was told that had an asthma attack or dealing with asthma prior to the race, and things just didn't go well for Sydney last week, but she'll rebound. She's one of the top runners for the Fighting Hawks. Lexi Erickson in the St. Scholastica cross-country team. She was down in Iowa last week. She took 17th overall in the meet, second on her team as the team tied for 7th. She is off this week. Nathan McRoberts and the Minnesota Crookston football team, they're at Southwest Minnesota State today at 5 o'clock. Maddie Filipiak with the BSU volleyball team. Had my chance to go down and watch her play last weekend. Really enjoyed a chance to see her play as she played very well last Saturday. She did pretty well last night as she had 7 kills in Bemidji State's 3-0 loss to Wayne State. They play at Augustana at 5 o'clock today. Tia Goulet, Kiana Kettleson, Bianca Carlson, and Brittany Foss with the RRCC volleyball team. They lost in 5 sets to Hibbing back on Wednesday. And I'm going back and thinking that I missed one thing on my list of things to talk about this morning, but we'll cross that bridge there. Lexi Edwards, of course, former Bronco girls hockey player, pole vaulter, and everything else. She's playing for Sacred Heart. They got their season started last night. She had an assist in their 6-0 win. They play post again today. We'll take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to the Indus volleyball players. Oh, there's a smile over to my left as I look. They're like, boy, what's this guy going to ask us? They're not sure what to think. We'll come back with that. You're listening to Coach's Corner. Live from Hardee's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Well, welcome back to Coach's Corner here. As I'm just talking with our guests. We're hashing things out, making sure we've got everything going on. Rihanna Wolden, Isabel Kress, Anna Noyes joining me here this morning. And Isabel, you look like you're ready to go. She wants to chat.
I'm so ready. I love talking.
She loves talking. I couldn't figure that out. I've known her maybe 32 minutes, and I have a feeling I knew that going in.
Did you?
That's just your personality, right?
Yeah.
So you guys don't have to, Rihanna and you and Anna, you guys don't have to worry now. You guys can just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. You can say you were on the radio and you only got to say like 5 words because Isabel's going to take care of everything else.
Yeah,
Thumbs up. We can do that. Talk about how the season has been going for the Indus Trojans, Isabel.
Well, I feel like our season's been going all right. We are currently 4-13 right now.
Okay.
But we play North home on
Monday.
We're going there for that. But our season's been going pretty good so far. Our new coach, Mr. Amda.
And okay, so you brought it up. He's listening in the Twin Cities. You know
is.
he's listening
Yes, he
online.
is.
I'm surprised I haven't got a text from him.
Oh, I got a text.
You got a
I
text.
did.
Wait a minute. I have a text. Let me see if. No, he didn't text me. So what did he tell you? What did he tell you to say?
He said, good luck, have fun, and I'll be listening.
No. Well, that's fair enough. So how does, you know, he's coached just about everything. He probably is the one guy that I know that's probably coached. Well, he probably hasn't coached swimming and diving, but he probably has tried everything else. What kind of coach is he? Well, in knowing that he's listening now, let's make sure let's get the truth here, though.
Okay.
No. Let's get the truth. Let's find out. Because I coached with Evan, so I know him pretty well.
He's said it a few times, but he's a good coach, but coaching females, he has said, is definitely different.
Yeah.
Definitely different. Different mindset, different things you got to say to us to get us going, you know?
Like what? What gets you guys going? What?
We say one thing every single time. Believe it, know it, do it. It really helps us out for some reason. We've been saying it for years. So
You say new coach, so old coach, female, male? And I ask because I don't know.
our coach last year was Mrs. Bitter.
Okay.
She previously coached in a lot of colleges. Went to
Okay.
state a few times,
She
I
went to
guess. Yeah, nationals, I guess. Okay, I didn't know that.
So the difference between a female head coach and a male head coach, Anna? What do you kind of feel is the difference?
The difference probably is that females know a lot more about like the females and know how to get them going and stuff.
Yeah.
But males don't know really much about it. Like they're like
They
they like to push us
they
harder
think
than
they know,
They think they
but they
know,
don't.
but they push us too hard and they break us down sometimes. And
Okay, so what's the magic thing? So here I am. I'm a guy. I know how to whatever. I had 3 daughters. I was probably too hard on them. What's the key thing? What no, Raina's saying, don't ask me that. Isabel, go ahead and take this. What is it that is the key thing? What is that the guys don't do that they need to do?
I feel like you just have to pay attention to like how we react to certain words. Like, I mean, not like every word, obviously,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
certain things we take harsher. We get harder on ourselves.
I
We really do.
Yeah.
We take things super personally. So like,
I would agree with that. As a teacher, I see those things very well. What does this team do well, Rihanna? You're going to jump in here now. What does this team do well? What through a month and a half of a season, what do you guys do well to help you guys get those wins and even in the losses do things well to be competitive? Anna, you want to take that one?
well, Rihanna is like our main setter, our number 1 setter on our varsity team. She runs her butt off through the game. She helps. She had 12 ace serves and on one of our games in Fond du Lac. So I think that was really cool how she led the team to victory too. And we wouldn't be here without her either. So or the rest of the team.
Isabel, you're shaking your head. You agree? Without her, it would be kind of tough.
oh yeah, definitely. I'm a terrible setter. Anyone can tell you that.
I'm a terrible setter myself. I'm horrible.
So I feel like, yeah, Rihanna, sorry, has carried us through a lot. She does a lot for our team. And so
Okay, I'm going to give her a factual question, not an opinion question. How many girls on the team?
Or the whole team.
Wait, on the whole team, how many girls on the whole team?
15.
15 girls, so that's varsity and JV. How many girls suit up for the varsity? See, this is 7. You got to hold her up here to say, you got to say it on the air.
7.
7. So wait a minute now. There's only the 6 got to play. You only got 7 dressing. That makes it pretty easy to get some playing time right there. I mean, you guys it but it makes it tough as well.
Everyone really gets to play, but it's like I twisted my ankle one time and I looked over and he's like, nope. I couldn't go out. There was no one there.
Yeah, I could see him saying that. So
Yeah.
you guys have played in a couple of big Saturday tournaments. You guys have played some single matches. I like to think about these tournament days because you guys played 4 matches one day. You played 5 another day down at Northland. Is that too much, Anna? Is that too much volleyball in one day?
It's not too much volleyball. I think the problems we were just getting tired through the games because we didn't have much to eat either. that day either. We did, but we got so tired through all the games and stuff, and we got upset with each other. And with the last game, we really had fun on the tournament, last Saturday tournament we had.
It seems to me, especially with only 7 players, it would be really, really difficult because there really is no breaks to kind of even come off and get a drink of water, those types of things, except in between sets. You guys got one match coming up, one match remaining in the regular season. You guys are going on the road to Northholm or Kelly? Which one are you going to?
Northholm.
Oh, so we're playing at Northholm because I can never decide where those games are going to be at. So you guys go to Northholm. I think you guys have already played them once this year, right?
Yes, at our school, yes.
And what was the result? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exact scores, but we did lose to them. Definitely.
Okay. So
Did we go to 5?
We went to 4 games, I think.
To 4 games.
Because we took a set from them, like the second games.
give her that microphone so that we can hear what she's saying over here, because now she's.
She said, I think we went to 23-25 to one of those games.
So there you go. So what do you guys need to do on Monday to turn that result around on the road and get a win?
Well, on our game that we played on Thursday against Red Lake, we played really well. We started hitting better, and just overall coverage isn't a big thing. But pretty much just covering. We really need to get on that. Making our passes.
I know coaches always talk about, Anna, always talk about communication. Communication. I've talked to a whole bunch of coaches this fall, and they've talked about communication. How is the communication on this team? Do you guys all kind of seem to be rowing the boat in the same direction and know what everybody's thinking and doing? Because with only 7 players, you would think you guys are always out there. You kind of get that idea where everybody's at.
Communication, we could work on a little bit more. We don't have much of it, but we are getting better at communications. I don't know really, but we need to work on a little more. We look forward to that on Monday's game, but we just need to work on communication and coverage, like Isabel said.
You guys got that's your final regular season game. Now you guys got to get 2 weeks off. So have you talked coach in, Ryan? I'm going to let Ryan answer this one. Have you talked coach into giving you guys a couple of days off so you can rest up and do that stuff?
I heard that practice was going to end on the 16th, and I questioned it. I was like, why? Why are we going to have practice? But I think it's because we have a long weekend that weekend,
with MEA and everything else.
We do get a pretty good break.
And so playoffs start the week of the 22nd. No idea. We were talking about this during the break. Any idea who you might get to play?
Every year it's been different.
Yeah.
Every year.
It's either been Mahnomen or Boston or Northholm.
That's just a little that ride to Mahnomen that would be nothing. I mean, you guys would get some good.
That's a long drive, though.
That is a very long drive.
Longest one.
We talked about what this team has been doing well. Maybe what does this team need to improve on over this during that time? What would you like to see this team get better at? I
would love to see us get better on covering.
Yeah?
Definitely get our serves in better. We've definitely improved on that. But there's room for improvement for everything and everyone. So.
Annie, you agree with Isabel's assessment on that?
Yes, I do agree with that. Like coverage, serving, most maybe just get blocked or hit a little better, get them down, not rainbows. Like our coach says, don't get rainbows.
Don't get rainbows. I can understand that. 3 of you are here, so who are the other 4?
Well, we had a player get injured this year.
Okay.
She tore her ACL when we were playing our 4th game.
Red Lake.
Against Red Lake. That would be Kareen Dahl.
Okay.
I don't know if she's listening.
She's a senior plus one of our
she
captains.
Is one of our seniors. Then we have Kimberly Loicano.
Locana.
Then we have
Irish Malapitan.
Irish.
She's our libero this season.
Okay.
And then we have Tessa and Bree Hasbargen. And then sometimes we have Lindsay Newberg. She is our JV player, but she sometimes dresses for us and helps us out.
Okay. So we were talking in the break, we were talking about no basketball out at Indus, but you guys have cross country and track and field. So the cross country meet is on Tuesday. You guys know who the cross country runners are?
We have one cross country runner this year.
3.
Well, we have 3, but only one
runs.
Chase Steinbeck, Andrew Olson, and then Bree Hasbargen as well.
Okay. And then track and field. You guys in track? You guys said you have track and field. You guys?
I don't run.
You don't run.
I don't either.
That's against the rules.
My rules.
Well, ladies, I wish you guys best of luck on Monday, and then, of course, in a couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys being here. Great to hear about Indus volleyball and everything you guys are doing out there. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brianna Wolden, Isabel Kress, and Anna Noyes joining me here. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk Lakers hockey. You're listening to Coach's Corner, live from Hardee's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Welcome back to Coach's Corner, and joined by members of the Fort Francis Lakers hockey team, head coach and GM Wayne Strand, and then players Nick Lucas and Brett Hackala. And guys, a 4-2 loss last night to Thief River Falls, and we were kind of talking about it during the break. Nick, we're not happy with that 4-2 loss last night.
No.
No,
I'm not happy with that.
No, and coach is over here going, Brett, you just not one of those good nights for the Lakers last night. It was what maybe needs to be going in the right direction from last night's game.
Well, I was watching from the stands last night, but from what I saw,
Well, sometimes that's the best place to be watching from, actually, to do the analysis.
let's hear the evaluation. Just positioning in our own end, and we ended up running all over the place, and we'd lose our man, and then that man would get an opportunity to score, and it was just little things like that turned the game around and brought them ahead of us.
Coach, how was that? How was that for analysis on last night's game? That sounded pretty good.
Yeah, definitely key on a couple things there. This the last few games, I haven't felt that we've had that energy or commitment level to competing, and we've given up some scoring chances that we hadn't, I guess, in the previous games. And they're all fixable things. We can watch video and show guys, but now we have to buy into I guess learning and living and learning from the two losses and moving forward here.
You guys had 3 games, 3 wins to start the season. What went well in those games? I mean, things change night to night and weekend to weekend because that's the way you guys have been playing early on here in the season. But what you like what this team did in the first 3 games with those 3 wins?
Well, the two biggest things that I saw were we were positive through those 2 games. The bench was up all the time. Guys were focused and believed that I think we could have success. And even at times when we had to battle hard and show character, it was there. Maybe that early success might have went to our heads a little bit, and we've kind of gotten away from that. Even in practice, they haven't been as maybe high intensity or crisp, and we've trying to been getting that message off to them, but I think that's relating to the last 2 games and now hurting us. But it's early on in the season. We have to adjust from that and grow, and hopefully we show some progress, and we got a big game tonight to try and get back on the winning track.
Nick, that first game of the season was up at Dryden, 2-time defending champions. You go into their house and you take a win. How big was that to get the Lakers season started?
I'd say that was a really big season setter. Like, we were pretty excited. When Kirk scored the overtime winner, we all just jumped out of the bench. We were so excited. It was just a great game, great team effort overall. Really set the pace for the season and set high expectations.
Brett, then you guys the next night go down to Hoyt Lakes. That's quite a road trip, by the way, to Dryden on a Friday night, come home, jump back on the bus, get down to Hoyt Lakes. I mean, this is kind of what this league is about. There's going to be some driving. But talk about how you guys maybe didn't let that win go to your guys' head and went down and took care of business down in Hoyt Lakes.
Well, when you sorry, but you got to go into every night expecting it to be another battle. You can't think like, oh, we went up and we beat the team that won the championship last year. We're going to go down and beat one of the last place teams and not have to try. It was a battle, and they give us a fight every night, and it was a good game.
Nick, where do you hail from? Where's home?
I'm from Cottage Grove, Minnesota, southeast of St. Paul.
I know exactly where it's at. My brother lives in Cottage Grove, Minnesota.
Oh, really?
So did you play for, let me run through them. So did you play for Eastridge or did you play for Park?
I played for Park. I was supposed to go to Eastridge, but I didn't want to play with the Woodbury kids.
Oh. See, my nephew played for Eastridge, and so that it was always a contention because he grew up in Cottage Grove, played with the Cottage Grove kids, and then when Eastridge came about, there was that. Is there a line through Cottage Grove where or do you get to pick? I know it's got open enrollment, but.
Yeah, there's set boundaries, but a lot of people work around it to get to go to park. I'd say me and about half of my friends that played hockey were supposed to go to Eastridge, but we all open enrolled the park so that we could play together.
I really want to dig into that not playing with the Woodbury kids, but I'm gonna let it go because I think
it's a huge rivalry.
It is a huge rivalry. I know that, and I know my nephew. I know there was a lot of decision making on what they were going to do when Eastridge opened. How about for you, Brett?
I'm from Fort Francis.
You are from Fort Francis. I wasn't 100% sure. So getting to play close to home, get to live at home. Compared to these other guys who aren't living at home, do they kind of depend upon you to be the what's the right word, the tour guide in Fort Francis and keep things light?
I guess so. And I kind of understand where they're being where they sit at because I have lived away from home for the last 5 years.
Okay.
Been traveling with hockey, so it's definitely nice to be home and to play in front of the hometown.
So where were you playing? Where were you at?
I went to Thunder Bay, Arizona, and then I spent 2 years in Powassan.
Wow, so that's quite the track record. That's moving around, Coach. You get these kids from the time they can be 16, 17 years old until maybe they turn 20, and you get to keep these kids around. But then you're always out on the recruiting trail looking for new kids. How does that all come about? How do you keep after these kids and still run a team and everything else?
Well, I guess it's not an easy task, but you try and recruit and bring in guys with strong character, guys that are good family guys and want to come here for the right reason, and whether they're local or guys that we bring in that live in billet houses. You got to get the right mix of guys that gel, and it's not an easy process. Last year and we went through some tough times character-wise, and that was one of the biggest things we wanted to change this year, and have a tight-knit group in the locker room. I think it's headed in that right direction, and the guys are getting along pretty good, and now we have to kind of bring that locker room atmosphere to our game, and we always talk about having a fist and a team as one, and I don't think we're quite there yet on the ice. We're close. We're missing a lot of key guys in the lineup right now. With injuries, but it's just a process where you talk to the kids, you get a feel for them, and to come to Fort Francis and play in the SIJHL, it's got to be what they want to do, and they got to feel comfortable with it, and know that they're going to get a good opportunity, but when they get here, they got to give everything they can as well to the team and to the organization and their fellow teammates.
You guys have been playing Fridays, Saturdays. That leaves Sunday through Thursday open to practice. And Nick, what do you guys come practice and work? Lift a few weights and work on some agility stuff. And then what happens? What do you do to fill the days?
Well, I work at the Menards here in International Falls.
That keeps there you go.
I'm basically here anytime I'm not at the rink. Pretty much. And I take a course over at Rainy River too, so I keep myself pretty busy away from the rink.
So that way you can't get into trouble, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred, how about for you?
I work for a landscaping, Daryl's Custom Landscapes in Fort Francis, and I live on a farm also, so there's a lot of work to be done after work and after hockey. So
a lot of respect for that. A lot of these guys, the kids on the team, Coach, do they pretty much get jobs? Is that what you guys try to find for them as well? I guess I never thought about that a lot of kids go out and possibly do that to not only to fill the time, but to have a few bucks in their pocket.
Well, I guess in the last few years, the team we have some fees, and the billets pay some billeting fees and whatnot to keep us going. And so you've seen a trend, I guess, through especially last year to this year, where more guys are getting part-time jobs, and that's good to keep them busy as well as help them out financially, but keeps them busy, and that's what we want. We try to keep them as busy as possible, do stuff throughout the community in helping other associations or fundraising events, and there is a lot of time where they can have free time or downtime from being at the rink. So it's good that they're involved, keeping busy and working and gaining that experience for further life after hockey.
Guys, appreciate you coming over this morning. Best of luck down in Hoyt Lakes tonight as you take on the Iron Rangers at 7 o'clock. Of course, all the games available online at SIJHLhockey.com. Is that where people can watch the games online at?
They can follow us on live scoring on the league website, and then hockeytv.com is the I guess the video feed.
Guys, best of luck as you head throughout the season. Nice meeting you guys, and go get them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick Lucas, Brett Hakala, and head coach Wayne Strand joining me here this morning. We'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll wrap it up here from Hardy's. You're listening to Coach's Corner on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Welcome back to Coach's Corner for our final segment here. Give thanks to my guest this morning, Indus Volleyball and the Fort Frances Lakers. Let's wrap up the show by talking about the week that happened and the week that is coming up. Last Saturday, the Rainy River volleyball team, was down in Itasca. They lost to the Vikings 25-23, 25-21, 25-21, all tight set matches. Just couldn't get over the top. Kayla Klofstead had 12 kills. Chelsea Cabate had 8 kills. Allison Sader had 16 digs. Bianca Carlson, another big day, 20 set assists and 10 digs. The Fort Frances Lakers were playing last Saturday night. Kendon Farragher, and Chase Robidoux scored in the first period to give the Lakers a 2-0 lead on Thunder Bay. However, the North Stars would score the next 4 goals, would go up 4-2. Nick Lucas, who was just one of our guests, he got the goal with 3:35 remaining to cut the Thunder Bay lead to 4-3. But the North Stars would get an empty netter, and the Lakers suffered their first loss of the season, 5-3 to Thunder Bay last week. No local action on Sunday or Monday. On Tuesday, the Bronco volleyball team swept Chisholm 25-22, 25-19, and 25-14 in a game heard on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com. Tennyson Omdahl was huge. She had 12 kills, 7 blocks, 3 ace serves. Grace Bragg had 12 set assists and 3 blocks. Maria Vollum was outstanding at the libero position as she had 23 digs. The LBF volleyball team lost to Cherry in 4 sets. They absolutely looked like they were in control of the match. They were up 25-17 and they were up early in set 2. However, the roof just absolutely fell in. I was looking at the scores, getting my text updates, and I just couldn't believe it after they had played so well for the first 50 points of the match. It looked like things were going to just go well. And then they lost 25-15, 25-9, 25-14. Kills, Danielle Pekarsky had 7. Digs, Emily Fairchild had 12, while Danielle Erickson had 11. And Danielle Pekarsky had 4 ace serves. The Bronco cross-country teams were in Ely. The girls win the meet with 42 points, edging out Virginia, who had 48. Ryan Ford led the way for the Broncos. She took second place. Avery Savonin 6th. Bailey Herberg 10th. Ellen Wendell's 15th. And Anna Wendell's 24th. The boys took second place overall with 56 behind the host team Ely with 49. Jake Erickson was 6th, and then in 12th through 15th place, right in order, that pack running that Coach Paul Jelly always is looking for and wanting. Maybe wants that pack to be a little closer to that number 1 runner right now, but they go 12 through 15 with Hunter Wilson, Parker Savonin, Justin Besch, and Joe Glowak. The girls swimming and diving team was down in Grand Rapids for the IRC meet. They took 5th out of 7 teams, with Grand Rapids taking 1st and Mesabi East 2nd. Amelia Stewart was in the 200 free relay, was named to the All-IRC team. Stewart took 7th in the 50 free and the 6th in the 100 free. Taylor Sears 7th in the 200 IM. Emma Erickson 5th in the 200 free, 6th in the 500 free. Ellie Nelson took 7th in the 100 free and 8th in the 100 breaststroke. The 200 free relay took 4th place, and Shea Manassa took 8th in the 100 backstroke. Fort Francis boys volleyball team lost in 4 sets to Dryden on Tuesday. The Muskies won the first set 27-25 and then dropped the final 3 sets. The Fort Francis girls basketball team was also playing Dryden. They won 63-51 as Jamie Spencer led the way with 23 points. Grace Petznick had 19. The Fort Francis boys golfers took part in the Norwassa conference meet on Tuesday. Michael Ward shot a 93 and Aiden Wilenga shot a 107. On Wednesday, the Rainy River volleyball team was down in Hibbing. They lost in 5 sets. Chelsea Cabate led the way with 15 kills. Kayla Klostad added in 10, and Allison Sater, the libero, had 20 digs. The Bronco volleyball team on Thursday lost a tough one to Evelyn Gilbert. I wasn't there for about the first half of the match, but the Broncos battled back after losing set 1. They took sets 2 and 3. The Broncos lost set 4 to set up the deciding 5th set. And it was kind of an interesting 5th set because Evelyn jumped out to a big 6-2 lead. The Broncos were coming back. They made it 7-6, or appeared to make it 7-6, but a rotation error on the team caused that point to go the opposite way. It ended, instead of 7-6, it was 8-5, and the Broncos lost the momentum that they had gained after a long delay, making sure that the ruling was correct, and the Broncos ended up losing the 5th set 15-10. Holly Wold had 16 set assists, Maria Vollum 21 digs, Mariah Leahy had 8 kills, 2 aces, and 13 digs. The LBF volleyball team went on the road and defeated Kelliher Northholm 25-11, 25-18, 23-25, and 25-19. Danielle Pekarski, 16 kills and 12 digs. Marianne Gray had 12 set assists, and Nissa Thomas had 6 ace serves. The Bronco Trap team did their shooting on Wednesday night. Gage Bergstrom, 46 out of 50. Colton Reller had 44. Asher Bellinger, Corey Battalion, and Carson Lutjahan each had 41 out of 50. The Indians volleyball team lost at Red Lake in 3 sets on Thursday. Isabel Kress had 4 kills, an ace and a dig, and Rayanna Wolden had 10 set assists. The Fort Francis volleyball team defeated Beaver Bray on Thursday in 5 sets, and they won the 5th set 19-17, and man, that had to be an exciting game. The Muskie girls basketball team all over Beaver Bray, 63-29. Ellie Petznick 22, and Jamie Spencer had 16. The Fort Francis cross country teams were up in Dryden on Thursday as well, and the girls absolutely dominated the 5K race. Greta Fedoruk, took first place. She was followed behind her teammates in 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. How's that for pack running? Paul Jelly, you got to like to see that, as Ashlyn Beck, Tori Torasevi, Montana Plasky, and Emma Torasevi all took those places. And, of course, I'm pretty sure Fort Francis will be at the Heil Pike here coming up on Tuesday at the River Golf Course. The boys' side took 3rd place to James Furlong. Stefan Dueck took 13th. Ben Olson 14th. And Romeo Deffy took 20th for the boys in that 5K race. And the Fort Francis football team, 4-1 on the season, 4-0 on the field, as they defeated Maples at home on Thursday afternoon, 17-7. Bronco football team last night lost 14-0 to Two Harbors. The LBF football team had to forfeit their game due to lack of healthy players last night against Floodwood, and the Fort Francis Lakers lost 4-2 at home last night to the Thief River Falls team. What's going on today? Well, already underway, the diving portion of the section true team meet for the girls swimming and diving team has started down in Duluth. The swimming goes off at 1 o'clock. The Bronco volleyball team already in action down in Esco as they are taking part in the Esco tournament. And I'm going to see if I've got any quick text messages on to see how we are doing, and I do not have any updates. They may not be playing until 10 o'clock. And then the Bronco bowling team will be on the road. They'll be down in Hibbing for a 2:30 match. No action going on tomorrow. On Monday, the Indus volleyball team wraps up their regular season with a match at Kelliher Northholm. The Rainy River volleyball team will be down in Bemidji to take on Oak Hills at 6 o'clock. On Tuesday, busy day here in locally, as the Bronco volleyball team will be at home against Greenway. And then, of course, the only home meet of the year, as the Broncos host the Heil Pike cross country meet out at the River Golf Course. Girls JV at 4 o'clock, girls junior high at 4 o'clock, boys junior high about 4:30, Girls varsity race will start right around 5 o'clock and the boys right around 5:30. I see that the weather's not going to be nice. Make sure you got your raincoat or your umbrella or both. And come on out and support the kids. It's going to be very exciting. I'm very curious to see where our teams will place against this. A lot of IRC teams, but some Canadian teams and some local teams. So very interested to see how things pan out on Tuesday. The LBF volleyball team will go on the road. They'll be down on the range to take on the Chisholm Blue Streaks. Rainy River volleyball team will be home on Wednesday night as they take on Vermilion at 6:30. On Thursday, the girls swimming and diving team heads to Babbitt to take on Northeast Range at 5 o'clock. The Bronco volleyball team will have their final regular season home match as they will be hosting Deer River, and the LBF Vikings volleyball team will have their final home match of the season as well as they will be hosting MIB. Friday, busy day as they mostly usually are along the way. The Fort Frances boys volleyball team will be in Dryden for a weekend tournament. The girls basketball team will be at home for Fort Frances in their home tournament. The Bronco football team will be at home taking on Evelyn Gilbert at 7 o'clock. The Fort Frances football team will be at home against St. John's at 3 o'clock. The Lakers will be on the road at Red Lake for a 7:30 game next Friday night. And hopefully the LBF Vikings football team will have enough healthy bodies that they can be hosting Northland Hill City next Friday night at 7 o'clock. The Lakers will stay up in Red Lake to play a second game on Saturday. That's going to wrap it up here for Coach's Corner. Thanks to Will back at the station for pushing all the buttons. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to everybody here at Hardy's who always takes so good care of our guests here. And a big shout out to Dave. If you come out here, make sure you thank him for what he does for the local kids and especially getting this show on the air. But most of all, thank you for listening to Coach's Corner. Live from Hardy's on K104 and online at rjbroadcasting.com.